So setting up a whole class reading activity, there are certain principles that I believe are important. First of all, you need a purpose. So why are students reading the text? Now that purpose should link to content, relevant content, but it also should link to a skill that you want students to develop. When you've decided on your purpose, you need to think of a post-reading activity that allows students to demonstrate that purpose. Simple example, maybe my purpose is for students to summarize. So my post-reading activity could be the use of a graphic organizer where they put the key points in the graphic organizer. It could be a word summary, so they have to summarize the main ideas of the text in no more than 25 words, something like that. So the post-reading activity links to the purpose. It's important you check things like the readability of the text. Line numbering is also a good thing to do because it allows you to navigate that text easily, and that's important in the rereading stage. So I have my text, I have my purpose, I have my post-reading activity all sorted. Then I need to decide, well, there are barriers in this text to students making sense of it. There are lots of barriers in text, but the two main ones are vocabulary and background knowledge. I need to break down those barriers prior to reading, and there's a logic here that's quite simple. If I don't, those barriers remain barriers and increase the cognitive load on students because they're struggling to overcome those barriers of vocab, or maybe they don't have background knowledge to try and make sense of what they're reading. So in the preparation for reading, I should be breaking down, thinking of ways of breaking down those barriers. Once that's done in a timely way, then I set up the classroom so that every student reads independently and silently and has a go at reading the whole text. We can't persist with that practice of better readers reading for weaker readers or the teacher reading for everybody. We must create classroom climates where students are reading and are accountable for their reading. There are different ways you can do this, but essentially set up the protocol for silent reading. You might have an image on the screen where I've seen it done as a Y chart. What does it look like, sound like, feel like? That seems to work quite well. So give them some time to read. I like to say anything worth reading is worth reading several times. So if you finish, read it again. You can model silent reading yourself as the teacher if you wish. Sit down for a few minutes, regroup, have a bit of a break. And then after that, after you've given students enough time to read it, the reread is where you might do and I do, we do, you do, to focus on different parts of the text that are important to the post-reading activity. Once done, students have a go at the post-reading activity. What you find as a teacher is when you do it like this, you get a far greater number of students able to do what you've asked them to do than if you just handed them the reading and said, well, here, read this and do the activity. But that practice of reading around the class, round robin reading we call it, we've known for decades that it's pedagogically obsolete. It doesn't do anything very much at all. It's very damaging for weak readers, and it doesn't do your good readers many favours either. Is replaced and should be replaced where a practice where all students are expected to read and required to read.